Tanner McNally with Evergreen Exteriors doing a visual inspection on is 1910. Older green roof, architectural. You can tell it's not 3-tab because of the flat base shingle with the dragon's teeth on top. A handful of missing wind-blown damaged shingles. I'm not sure exactly what color this is, if this is rainforest green or something different. You can see a little bit on these corners. Altogether, this isn't good, but it's not terrible in any sort of way. We're not seeing a ton of fiberglass aside from these little transition areas just talking about. You can see how close we come in. Here's a couple of those little wind damage shingles. Like I said, there's some weathering and wear on this face right here, but it's nothing terrible. Nothing outside of any crazy levels. It's like this area is getting pretty hot based off the bruising we're seeing on the asphalt shingles. To correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I'm guessing based off the wear that this upper living space is getting pretty warm in the summers. Pretty good going down. Gutters are pretty clean, which is nice. It's that same wear I was talking about. See where Andrew's going next. Here's the lower slope area where we have less slope. You can see more degranulation. So less of that bruising I was referencing earlier, and more degranulation where we can see the actual fiberglass matting of the shingle through. A little bit of buildup in these valleys over here, but nothing crazy. Pause really quick. Kind of same general system over here. So nothing crazy. Go back a little bit. There's something I wanted to see over there. Okay, doesn't look terrible. I was seeing this area over here. I was wondering if it was I think that's where that water's coming down. So that's why it's looking all the water from the roof above, and that's why we're showing a little bit more wear in this area. We can see a nice little chunk of wind damage up here. We can see it's tar paper underneath. Drip edge is over, which is convenient. Looks like the nailing is pretty good that I'm seeing from right here. We'll see if we get any closer. I can really call it out. Here's a RV49. I'm not sure why this RV49 is so low in the roof section. So this wouldn't be used as, my assumption is this wouldn't be used as ventilation. This is probably an exhaust for a 6-inch flapper. So right here in this corner of the screen, we have a 4-inch flapper. A flapper is going to be a vent that opens and closes and exhausts out like air inside like a bathroom or a kitchen or something along those lines. This one's plastic. We use all metal flappers for everything we do. This one right here, I'm assuming that the original installer didn't have a 6-inch, so they subbed in this RV49. We'd want to swap that over to an actual flapper. So something that looks not like this exactly. Like I said, the ones we use are made of metal, but it's just going to be larger. All these valleys over here, we'd convert over to a metal valley system versus the current shingle through system. So right now they have shingles flexed throughout these valleys, and what we prefer to do is run a continuous metal valley. That avoids, the buildup of snow, leaves, granules, pine needles, all that kind of stuff in the roof. Switching over here, you can see another little repair. We're looking a little bit better up here. Does this have living space, I think? It does, but it has a full attic above it, is what I'm assuming. So it looks like with that little bit better ventilation, looks like we've got a little bit better lifespan on these shingles. Still wind damage, unfortunately, but that's just because it's a brittle oxidized shingle. I mean, we can see this repair right here. You can see this little corner tab missing. Kind of standard to see on an oxidized shingle of this age. On the ridge up here, we've got a couple more wind damage shingles, a couple more, a couple more. They're kind of throughout this entire roof. That's what we're seeing. Looks like you got some RV49s up here. An RV49 stands for roof vent that vents 49 cubic inches of space. What we do is we convert both of your ridges over to a continuous ridge venting system. The benefits of using a continuous ridge vent is that we can get somewhere around double the exhaust ventilation that a current RV49 system has. So we'll count the vents and see how much ventilation you have. 2, 3. So you just have 3 up there. So 3 is way light for this roof. If I run the numbers really quickly off screen. With a continuous ridge vent and a high flow system, we'd be around like 360, and currently you have 147. So let me double check to make sure that's accurate. You just had 3 up there, so I think I noted. We got 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's just 3 up there. So yeah, we double your ventilation, over double your ventilation. This pipe jack back here would of course replace the flashing on the bottom of it. They're all metal flashings. With PVC rain guards at the top. On the back side over here, the same idea as the section back over there. We convert this over to a continuous ridge vent, which hopefully eases up the heat in this space if I am correct, and this area is hotter than the attic above it, or the living space in this area is hotter than the area to the right of it. All these valleys, same as everywhere else, would have metal valleys versus the current shingle through valley they have right now. Take a gander, and these are actually plastic RV49s too, which are notorious for cracking. These look like they're in pretty good shape conveniently. Got an old anchor right, that back right over there was an anchor. Of course, all of our roof packages, all this metal here on the side, all new drip edge, all new flashings throughout. For this home, with this age, I think that we'd probably end up having to replace all the step flashings along this run area here. What the builder in this area was notorious for was running 2 step flashings, or excuse me, 2 shingles for every step flashing. We can send over specific videos about this if you want to learn more about it. We did, of course, include a kickout flashing down here as well. But aside from that, what we saw a lot of times was people would run 1 step flashing and have 2 shingles going into that single step flashing, and then run another, and then another going up. And then what that creates is you only have an inch of overlap per step flashing. And with our system, you would have 5.5 inches of overlap per step flashing. And that of course creates, helps shed water down the roof and prevents backflowing, where you're gonna have, ice and snow build up, stuff like that on this eave edge right here next to the gutters. Prevents water from flowing back underneath those step flashings and then going back into the house or the siding system. We've got another one of those RV49s down here, which I believe is being used as a flapper. So we want to switch that over to an actual 6-inch flapper. See a couple shingles hanging out in the gutter down here. You kind of see those nails over here now. Looks like we're solely hitting the headlap above it. So these nails right here should hit the headlap and the shingle above it, and it looks like we are hitting that. So it looks like less of improper install on that side of things and more of a issue with just an old brittle non-SBS modified shingle. Gutters are nice and clean. I'm doing a good job of keeping the gutters clean. It's great. Okay, that's it. Tanner McNally signing off.